So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing, and today I'm going to be talking about the fight which took place on the weekend between Sonny Edwards versus Galal Yafai. Now this fight was a very interesting fight, and the reason why I say that is because my pre-fight thoughts was that it was going to be a very competitive fight between both guys. Both guys are young, hungry British talents in their divisions. And I just thought it was going to be a lot more competitive than what it actually was. Now, before I get going and giving my deep insight into the actual fight itself, I want to give props to where props is due for Galal Yafai. Prior to coming into this fight, he was 8-0, and obviously taking on the more experienced and number one in the Ring magazine. Um, fighter, Sonny Edwards, who was 21 and won at that point. He obviously went in there and stuck to his game plan and stopped him. So yeah, hats off and props goes to Galal Yafai. He is a talent. Hopefully he can keep his head on the right side, and that's the right side of boxing, and go on to do some good things in terms of boxing. He is coming from a family background where his brothers were good prospects and good fighters in their day. Similar to Sonny Edwards, his brother Charlie was decent back in the day. And obviously, it's it's just a shame of what's pretty much happened to Sonny. Um, he's still young. He's only 28 years of age in my eyes, and for him to come out at the end of the fight and say that he's retired, I feel as if there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and that maybe he can't really get himself focused at this point in time. And the best thing is to retire, because the last thing a boxer wants to do is to go into a fight, and knowing that they could get hurt. This ain't football. This ain't like darts or snooker or something. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, these guys are putting their lives on the line every time they enter the ring. But yeah, fight was a one-sided beatdown in my mind, and it kind of reminded me a little bit like AJ versus Dubois, in the fact that Sonny Edwards was pretty much the man, similar to AJ when he fought Dubois, and Dubois and Galal Yafai were the people that were up and coming, and you know what I mean, had to make a statement, and both of them have. It was a one-sided drumming for me. I feel as if, let me just go on BoxRec. I'm sure it was only 6 rounds. Was it 5, 6 rounds? Did it fight? 6 rounds. Yeah, up until the stoppage. When I was watching it, all 6 rounds for me was scored towards Galal Yafai. I didn't give Sonny Edwards a round. And he just looked sorry for himself in the ring. And it was the second round where he went back to his corner, and then he said to his corner, I'm going to be honest, I don't want to be here. And when a fighter's saying that in the middle of the fight, that's not a good sign. And if it was for me, I'd say that the stoppage was premature, because I felt as if maybe Sonny could have probably done a little bit more. He stopped fighting up until that stoppage. He just gave up. He just sat on the ropes, allowed Galal Yafai to let his hands go, and allowed the referee to stop the fight. He didn't want to be there. He just wanted to go home, basically. So yeah, he's a beaten fighter at this moment in time. He needs to have some time away from boxing, clear his head, do whatever he needs to do, and then maybe after a year, 6 months, I don't know, whatever time he needs, he could come back, because he's only 28 years of age and he is a talent. And me personally, you know what I mean, I was speaking to a few people prior to the fight, and I tipped Sonny to beat in Galal Yafai, and it was mainly more based on experience and slickness. I just felt as if he was going to probably catch Galal Yafai at some point, but he just didn't let his hands go. He is a very slick boxer, but obviously work rate, persistence, overcame him on the night, and heart. It was heart as well. So yeah, hats off goes to Galal Yafai. Obviously 9-0 now. I think he's the interim WBC champion. So yeah, hopefully he could go on and do some good things. Currently, currently the belt is vacant, I believe. Is that right? I'm sure the belt is vacant. Just gonna go on to Boxing Live. Yeah, the belt is vacant at WBC currently. So who knows? Now that he's the interim champion, maybe he could probably fight someone for that belt, Galal Yafai. And after that, try and maybe clear up the division before maybe looking for the bigger fights. Because Sonny, prior to that fight, his only other loss was to Bam Bam Rodriguez. So realistically, Sonny Edwards has been in there with the who's who. And Bam Bam Rodriguez, we know who he is. He's a dangerous mofo. And it was a good fight up until it lasted between them two. So if Galal could do that sort of performance against the Sonny Edwards, he could have a chance against the Bam Bam Rodriguez. The only difference is Bam Bam hits hard for his weight. He's a hard hitter. But yeah, Galal Yafai, I'm very, very impressed. There is a big future for him. He just needs to keep himself level-headed and grounded, and sticking to his training and not get caught up in anything silly away from boxing, because it is easily done. He's not a young pup. He looks young, but he's not a young pup. He's 31 years of age, but he's only recently turned pro. You know what I mean? He's got a lot of pedigree behind him, winning gold at various tournaments, amateur tournaments. So. And obviously Olympic gold or whatever. So he's got a lot of pedigree behind him, a lot of experience. So yeah, now that he's got this belt, he only has to go forward really, and that's for me is to challenge the best in the division and take on some of the champions if he can. But yeah, brilliant fight between the pair. In terms of the event, I thought the event was quite good. Some of the fights on the undercard are very good. Kieran Conway versus Ryan Kelly was a good fight. I like that one. Conor Walker, he's just phenomenal. Obviously Ritson, I give it hats off to him as well. He stood his ground, but he ain't the same fighter that he once was. But he gave everything in the ring that he could. But obviously he lost on a unanimous decision. A Cameron Vong as well. For those that didn't watch that fight, he fought against Gavin Gwynn. Probably butchered his surname. I think he's a Welsh guy anyway. But anyhow, that fight for me was a very, very good fight for Cameron Vong. Very slick and skilled fighter. But Gavin Gwynn is so durable, so strong, kept coming forward even though he was getting clipped by the better shots. And he just pull it on Cameron Vong at times. And I feel as if Cameron Vong's going to learn a lot from this, because it was a tough fight for him, even though he won. Hopefully he'll go back to the drawing board, learn from this, and if you know what I mean, if there is a rematch, try and make the rematch a lot easier than what it actually was. But yeah, they're my thoughts. I didn't catch the Callum Smith fight, didn't watch that fight. Obviously turned it on a little bit too late, and Aaron Bowen as well. I didn't catch that fight, but yeah, good event overall from the show. And let's wait and see what happens. Obviously this weekend. There's a big show, so hopefully there's more boxing. Obviously I'll be doing more predictions as well in terms of videos for this week. Been slacking recently, but hopefully I'll get back on it and give you guys my thoughts as always. Please subscribe and comment, guys. Bless.